IVM.
Do you often dream about leading a more creative life? Whether you wanted to be a painter, a dancer, a cricketer, or a photographer. Maybe you wanted to play games for a living. Growing up, financial responsibilities often take us away from our true passions. Now imagine if you could explore that creativity while still making sure that your family is financially secure. Find a way for the artist and the realist within us to coexist. करो पूरे अपने इरादे, अपनों से किए सभी वादे. SBI Life अपने लिए, अपनों के लिए. To know more about our insurance plans with wealth creation, log on to www.sbilife.co.in. IRDAI registration number 111.
Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach podcast. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach, and today with us for a second time we have Loveena Sirohi. And we're going to be talking about hemp. In the first part, we understood what is hemp, what is the plant that it comes from, and now we're going to deep dive into how we can actually use it in our lives. So if you haven't heard part 1, go check it out. This is part 2. So when it comes to the nutritional aspect,
yes,
tell us a little bit about that. How does that work?
Sure. So the hemp seed is one of the most nutritiously dense sources of food in the plant-based kingdom. And the seed itself, so from the same seed, you can make multiple products. We take the seed and we make the hemp hearts, which are your hulled hemp seeds. From the same seed, we make the hemp seed oil, which is cold pressed. And from that, again, the same seed itself, we make the hemp protein powder, which is milled after the cold pressing of the hemp seed oil. So the seed itself can, it's so versatile. You can use it in so many different forms. But in terms of the nutritious aspects, it's a complete protein, all 20 amino acids, vegans in India or vegetarians in India so often get asked that question, but hey, where are you getting your protein from? And I myself am one. So though it's a very stereotypical question because there are so many plant sources of protein,
Absolutely.
but hemp is so dense in its protein content. It is so good for gut health. Today, India has, 50% of Indians have a poor gut or a digestive system. Hemp seeds have both insoluble and soluble fiber that helps solve for that. Very high in fiber, very high in antioxidants. In fact, many consumers and people consume fish oil themselves or for their pets for the omega content. But hemp, in fact, is a better source of omega because it has omega-6 and 3 in a balanced ratio that your body needs it in, which is a 3:1 golden ratio, as you call it. So, extremely rich in nutrition. And even when you consume hemp seeds, so they're small in size, they go a long way because you'll notice as soon as you have 2 to 3 tablespoons of hemp hearts, you start to feel full because of their fiber content. And the the protein powder is one of the most digestible sources of protein. Its absorption rate is upwards of 95%. And that's a problem, with whey protein. It often results with bloating or gas because it's also not fully absorbed by the body. But the hemp protein's absorption rate is so high. And so many different ways you can use it. You can use it in your shakes. You can use a hemp protein in your atta. You can use the hemp seeds just raw. You can actually make hemp milk from the hemp seeds as well. So, everyone who makes almond milk has a problem where they sometimes forget to sow the almonds overnight. But with hemp seeds, in under 2 minutes, you have a hemp-based milk, which is, again, a plant-based vegan form of milk that you can consume. So it really is so versatile that, when you look at the plant, you're like, where do I begin? And where do I end? Because it can do so much as a plant alone for consumers, different stakeholders, the farmers, our well-being, our planet. It's phenomenal.
Absolutely. So I remember starting to use hemp, I think about 5-6 years ago with the seeds and the powders and the oils. And
Right.
I used to add it to my salad. And I create this thing called a protein pudding where I add my whey, and I used to add my hemp powder to that as well, just in case. And it has a very interesting flavor. I think that was something
Yes.
that also, it doesn't necessarily need getting used to, but it's a very interesting taste that exists with it. So I love using hemp in those ways. If somebody's
Yes,
starting
it's
this
like-
journey, sorry.
It's like if the sunflower and pine nuts came together and gave a baby, it would result in the flavor profile of hemp seeds.
Correct. It's very nutty. And I think that's
Yes.
yeah. How do you think people should start this journey on with hemp? So they've heard all of this and they're saying, all right, I want to now try. What should I start off with? Should they start off with hash? Should
As
they
a
start with
consumer,
powder? Should they start off with oil? Yeah. What should they start with as a consumer?
so, right, as a consumer, it really depends on what is your requirement. If are you speaking nutrition, are you speaking medicine? But let's say we're talking nutrition, right?
Correct.
So, in nutrition itself, now you've got it depends on ways of consumption and the need of the consumption as well, right? So, let's say the protein powder. uh, Fits perfectly well if you're somebody who is into fitness. You want to get your protein intake, you're very calculative about it, your pre-workout shake, post-workout shake. However, the hemp seeds
How would you
are,
use let's look at usage also for each of them. So like, for example, the protein powder. Can you tell
yes,
us 2 or 3 usages that we can use it with? Like when you say shake, you just put it in water? Do you add something to it? Like how do you?
best way of consumption, of course, is through water, the protein mixed with the water. But just like any other protein powder, you can blend it in your smoothies, you can blend it in your shakes. But a very interesting way to consume it and an easy way. I believe, for people struggling to get into a healthy diet, it's about how easy can you make the form of consumption for yourself and how can you trick yourself to eating healthier. So Indian consumers eat a lot of chapatis for lunches, dinners, the part of our Indian cuisine. Now, chapatis have a whole lot of empty calories. So when you put the hemp protein powder in the dough of your chapati and you consume it, it doesn't change the flavor profile of the chapati, it just makes your chapati a little green. And yes, that makes it placebo that you're having a green chapati. But that adds in about 30 plus grams of protein if you're having 4 chapatis in a day. So you're basically tricking yourself with the same meal but being able to consume more protein. So putting it in the batter of your dosa, in the atta of your chapatis is again a big hack that we in my personal household we definitely do that. And
What's the ratio
of
of how much atta to hemp? Do you do 50-50? Do you put just 1 spoon? What is the?
So 1.5 to 2 scoops that you could put in the full dough that you're going to be needing for the chapatis.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Lovely.
And unless you're very calculative, you could also do it scoop-wise basis the measurement. And coming to the hemp seeds, again, very, very versatile. Like I mentioned, you can use the seeds to make hemp milk. You can put the seeds, sprinkle them on your food, just like you would with the chia seeds or flax seeds. You can consume them raw. As well, you can make some desserts with it. You can also make some desserts with the hemp powder, such as the hemp brownies and stuff, the protein balls and so on. And the third one, which is the hemp seed oil, again made from the very nutritious hemp seed itself, is a great product because it's a multi-purpose product. And in fact, it's also called as nature's most perfectly balanced oil because of its golden ratio of the omega content, the 3:1 ratio where omega-6 and 3 are present. So this oil can be used on your hair, on your skin, on your body, as well as consumed. I know it can be confusing for some. You're like, hey, why will I consume the same oil that I'm putting on my hair? But the oil's nutritious properties are such that it's good for your skin completely. It does not clog your pores. Anti-inflammatory in nature, helps solve for eczema, psoriasis, dry skin in the winters. It's also used in a lot of Ayurvedic treatments as a massage oil, as massage therapy. And when you consume it, it's anti-inflammatory in nature. It helps with lowering your cholesterol. But just how you would use your olive oil, you can sprinkle it. We recommend not to heat it while consuming because that we take great efforts in cold pressing the oil so you can retain all the nutritional benefits. When you heat it, you lose the omega content, which defeats the purpose. But yes, very, very versatile and again very dense in nutrition.
Lovely. We're gonna take a quick break. See you on the other side.
Eventually, you'll see the end of your childhood,
Get accustomed to womanhood.
enjoy the experience of sisterhood,
Might get to wifehood
or not, choose motherhood.
or not. You'll learn to define your personhood,
Earn a livelihood,
change the neighborhood.
and get rid of the falsehood that life post academia is easy.
So join me, Ritasha,
And me, Ayushi,
on a journey from station starting point
to station, what now?
next station, Pudin station, and hopefully Agla station, adulthood.
Fresh episodes out every Thursday.
Welcome back. All right, let's jump into the conversation. Now, the question I had was, how do you make these as little habits through the day? So how have you incorporated hemp throughout your day? Like, is there too much
Right.
hemp? Is there such a thing as overdosing on hemp? Can you have too much of it? Can you have for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and just like overdo the whole thing?
So you won't ever overdose on hemp. You cannot also get high on the hemp nutrition. You can only get high with health. And so
Get high
I
with
believe,
health. Okay, I like that. That was cute.
right. So it's about how do you get yourself to consume healthier alternatives throughout your day, and in your as part of your snacking habits. So there's nothing as too much of hemp. Of course, it's so versatile that it's your choice how you want to include it in your breakfast. Are you consuming it raw? Are you sprinkling it? Are you mixing it in your shakes, or so on? But I believe it's really about at the end of the day, we're so ruled and primed by what's in our surrounding. So really, once you get to understand the many nutritious benefits of this plant itself, and how it can meet your protein intake, how it can help with your gut health, your fiber intake, it's really about the placement of the product in your household. That when you're going to your kitchen, instead of, let's say, picking up an alternative which is not the healthiest option, you pick this up, and then it becomes your choice as to, are you want to make it. Of course, India is a taste sensitive market, so to some it may not be too appetizing, to have something this nutty. So it's again, are you blending it with a flavored milk in your smoothies, in your shakes? But it's absolutely necessary. I believe everything starts with self-awareness, and discipline. So that is the crucial factor to realize that, okay, one, you need to be eating healthy, but I know it's difficult to build new habits. So how do you trick yourself into getting into a habit of eating healthier? So the chapati thing is the protein powder in the chapati, I think, is a great hack to incorporate it, and slowly and eventually you get to becoming, I feel like once you get to becoming a hemp consumer, we have we've seen this in our consumer metrics itself, how many consumers are coming back, and their stories are, of course, it starts with the change in perception, and then it starts with them actually recognizing how beneficial it is for our human body, that they're like, we're hooked with just the knowledge of how it can help, that now it becomes, if you have it and you're not incorporating it, it's an act of ignorance.
Interesting. How can people connect with you, understand more about this business, start their hemp journey along with you?
Right. So our website is indiahemporganics.com, and I am available on LinkedIn. I'm available, on Instagram. Anytime the WhatsApp number that's given on our website as well. So many a times I pick up that phone and connect with consumers myself. So even if you drop a hi on our WhatsApp number and say, you would like to connect with me or anybody from the team, we're available instantly. And that's something that, we're going to, no matter what scale we reach, one thing we're going to hold very close to us is, the personal consumer interaction we're having to help guide every consumer on their journey of holistic well-being. And, we're not saying that, hey, hemp is a solution, but to everything, but it's a part of a healthy lifestyle that you must incorporate to become a better version of yourself.
This is so important because right now, like with this podcast, there were so many questions that I had about what hemp is and how is it, fitting into our ecosystem here in India, especially.
Yes.
Right. So I think everyone who's going to be reaching out to you has those kind of questions as well,
Yes.
what am I going to be doing as well? Fantastic. Like you mentioned, high in protein, very good in the kind of fats and the oils that are there in these. So I think it should become a part of our daily consumption. It's important for us to have
even
it in.
Even the oils, right? It's not that only if you're suffering from stress or insomnia or pain or IBS or something that you need to consume them. We have consumers that just want to have better focus levels, better clarity of thought, or better mood. So it's not going in and altering your biochemistry like any supplement or capsule would do, but it's just mimicking your entire physiology to restore its balance again, and bring you back to what's your natural state, where you're supposed to be sleeping when the sun sets, waking up with the sunrise, and putting you back in tune with nature's cycle. So even the oils, like I'm a big consumer of the oils myself, and the beauty is that as you tweak the dosage, let's say you go from 5 to 6 drops to 8 to 10 drops, your experience is changing. So the dosage directly correlates to the experience of whether you're having lesser drops for better focus or higher number of drops for better sleep. It's really enhancing the day-to-day performance and your mood, energy, how reactive you are, how aware you are, and helping you even if you're not absolutely one of the stressed out or one of the ailing.
You raised an important point, which was starting with the dosages, right, and how the dosages change. Does the doctor help you with that when you do your consulting, or is it something that you try for yourself with trial and error?
No, of course, the doctor will, help prescribe an initial dosage. So one benefit of the oil is, one of the strengths is that it's so bio-individual. And we're all so unique in our physiology. You are so different from me. This is our lifestyle, our genetics, consumption habits, and age, weight, so many factors that are influencing us. So, of course, you cannot give the same dosage to everybody. We have consumers, that are, there is a bracket within which we work with, of course. So the doctor obviously starts with a low dosage, and we work, and the initial 1 to 2 days are, where we are figuring out what is each consumer's sweet spot. Is your sweet spot 8 to 10 drops, or is it 10 to 12 drops, and within a bracket figure. And because you can validate the medicine in present time, if you're consuming it for stress or sleep, and if it's not impacting your stress or sleep levels on day one, we go back and tweak the dosage. Or if you have really slept so sound like a baby that you've forgotten to wake up, we reduce the dosage a little bit. So the first 2 days are just figuring out the sweet spot, and then from there we work on each person's dosage, and we do constant follow-ups to see how that's working.
Awesome. Loveena, thank you so much for coming on the Habit Coach podcast and sharing, about hemp with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Ashdin. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Lovely. Oh my God, IVM, you got the 7-year itch. Congratulations. 7 years of being in existence. Happy birthday to you. So excited, and I'm so honored to be part of this journey with you. Now, if you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am at Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. We have a brand new habit coaching online course, quizzes, videos, and a lot more on the website awesome180.com. So check it out now.
Hey everybody, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On This Round is on Me, Gauri has a conversation on building a sustainable luxury travel ecosystem with entrepreneur Jaisal Singh. On The Wire Talks, Siddharth asks American philosopher Jason Stanley to decode his book, How Fascism Works, The Politics of Us and Them. On The Longest Constitution, Priya explains the concept of invisible work and how Javed Akhtar and the copyright law are connected. On Postcards from Nowhere, Utsav tells us an interesting story that connects West Indies cricket, jackals, and Mariamman temples. And on All Things Policy, the Takshashila folk look into the Ukraine-Russia conflict and its associated geopolitics. So, on a personal note, I wanted to let you all know that this week marks the 7th anniversary since I started IVM. I'm eternally grateful to the team we have here, especially Kavita Rajwade and Tejas Sringarpure, who have been here since the beginning. They've seen the struggles, our eventual acquisition by Pratilipi, and our continued struggles to make podcasting a large and thriving part of the media industry. We have the best hosts in the world, and I have to say that I'm so glad and so grateful that they have chosen to work with us. And finally, I'd like to say thank you to you, the millions of folks who have heard or watched our content. All I can say is, you ain't seen nothing yet. I hope you join us as we continue this journey. In the meanwhile, do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Also, don't forget to rate us on any platform you're listening to. You can also check us out on YouTube. To get a list of all of our channels, you can go to ivmpodcast.com/YouTube, where you can go to all the channels. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week: SBI Life Insurance, Bank of Baroda, Max Life Insurance, India Water Portal, and HDFC Life Insurance. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Do you wonder why China does the things that it does? Or want to know how we could improve online privacy? Or perhaps you're thinking about how we can kickstart India's economy. If you'd like to search for the answers to such questions, check out All Things Policy, a daily public policy podcast that covers everything from employment figures to aircraft carriers. Tune in from Monday to Friday for new episodes and fresh takes.